Hey, sports card fans, it's John, Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. One of my goals in my vintage baseball card collection is to get a card of all the Hall of Famers in a particular year. Now, I've yet to complete one of those runs yet. The closest I am is for 1978 Topps, and I'm missing 3 cards to complete the Hall of Fame run. But I thought I would show off the progress I've made so far with my 1977 Topps Hall of Famers. Now, the 1977 Topps set has been really difficult for me to try to work on, and I don't know if it's because of population reports or whatnot, but I'm generally looking for PSA 7 copies. I'm not looking for the 8s or 9s. I have settled for 6s. Again, it's mainly for eye appeal, but for, I don't know, just something about 1977 Topps. You would think that you'd be able to get at least a PSA 7 for a decent price, and a PSA 7 that's fairly well centered. Centering has been a big problem for me. You know, that is the main criteria that I look for. And when I do find either a PSA 7 or even if I look up to an 8, sometimes even a 6, depending on the player, it's either not centered, or if it is centered, the prices that they are asking for some of these cards, I just don't feel are worth it. I think a lot of the sellers are still trying to sell these for above comps. Again, it may be the whole low population in that grade that they think they can get a little bit more for it. I don't know. I've been looking for Thurman Munson. I know he's not in the Hall of Fame, but I also have a couple should be Hall of Famers in my Hall of Fame list. Thurman Munson's one of them. Having a really hard time finding a decent copy at a decent price. Brooks Robinson, some of the others that I'm trying, like Burt Blyleven. Just can't find a Burt Blyleven that's not a PSA 9 that they want $97 for. And there's just some other players. Catfish Hunter, for some reason, is another tough one. So with that, to date, I have 24 Hall of Famers. A few should be Hall of Famers, I think, in here. So I'm going to change the view around here and show off the progress that I've made so far on my 1977 Topps Hall of Fame run. All right, we're going to just go in numerical order here. The first one is starting off with a non-Hall of Famer, but in my eyes should be in the Hall of Fame, and that is the Dwight Evans. I did manage to pick this one, find this one in a PSA 8. Again, mainly looking at the centering, this PSA 8 came up. And again, I don't know, can't recall exactly what I paid for this, but I know I didn't pay a lot for it, or else I wouldn't have bought an 8. I would have looked for a lower graded copy with just as well good centering. So really happy with that Dwight Evans. Here's another Red Sox, Jim Rice. Did happen to pick this one up in a PSA 8. Really love the centering on that and the shot of Jim Rice. Next one, this was another one that I struggled to find a good copy of at a price that I was comfortable with paying. And that's the Johnny Bench. This one's in a PSA 7. Not, perfectly centered, a little off top to bottom, but again, really hard card to find in this, I guess, mid to high grade, if you want to call it that. But with this one here, it was mainly the price point. To find a better centered copy probably would have run me into a PSA 8, and I just didn't want to feel like paying those prices. But really nice example there of the Johnny Bench. Next one, again, sort of hard for me to find initially, but was able to get this Joe Morgan in a PSA 7. And next is the Rod Carew. also in a PSA 7. I think probably on average for most of these cards, I probably paid in the neighborhood of $25, $35, something like that. Rod Carew. Next one is Mike Schmidt. Also have that one in a 7. Right, moving on to the next group here. We have this Hall of Famer, unfortunately, recently passed away. I was fortunate to get this card a few months ago before his passing. It's the Bruce Sutter rookie card. This one, again, I found, I was fine getting a PSA 6, PSA 7s. Either I couldn't find PSA 7s or the PSA 7s were off-centered. And I found this PSA 6 and was extremely happy with the centering. So again, I also saved money by not having to buy a 7. The fact that this is his rookie card obviously made this card more expensive. But really happy with that 6. Don't mind that at all. Next one is a Tom Seaver in a PSA 7. Again, I've been really picky with these 77s. They're really tend to be off center, so that's why it's taken me so long even just to get these 24 cards, because I'm really focused on the centering. And also the 77s, especially at the top here, either with the team name, the little pennant, or the player name, you get in ink smudges. I think there's a little bit there on the Cubs there on the Bruce Sutter, but it's barely noticeable. Next one here is Gaylord Perry. I have this one in a PSA 8. Again, this is on the lower end of the Hall of Famers. Doesn't cost that much, so I was able to pick up an 8 for this one. Next, we have the Lou Brock in a PSA 7. Then we have the Dave Winfield. This one I ended up picking up a PSA 8 copy. Really happy to find that one. Again, a lot of these, I probably struggled to find a 7, so I said, well, let's look at an 8, and I was able to get one for, again, I don't overpay for cards. I don't need some of these, desperately, so I'm sure I got a pretty good deal on that. And then this last one here, this was a tough one. This was a fairly recent pickup that I showed off not too long ago. Really hard to find. This was probably the best centered copy that I have seen. Other copies on eBay have been like PSA 8s or 9s and asking a ridiculously high amount for. That's the Fergie Jenkins. So I was able to find this one in a 7. Pretty well centered. Very happy with that copy. All right, halfway through here, we have the next one is the Yastrzemski Turn Back the Clock. Now, this is one I probably wanted to get in an 8 again for my Yastrzemski playing day run type collection. So I probably was looking more on purpose for an 8 for this one, a really nice copy. I'm going for more of the nicer grades for the Yastrzemski cards. Next one, another one that was a struggle, had to quote unquote settle for a 6, but I think this 6 is a great example here, almost perfectly centered. I don't know what's wrong with it. See if I can get this focused a little bit better here. I don't know what's going on with my camera. Oh, let's bring it down there then. Yeah, really happy with that centering on that Pete Rose. Again, I don't mind that I had to drop down to a 6 to get that one. Then we have the Willie Stargell PSA 7. Again, you can see a theme here with the centering. You may say, hey, John, what's the issue? All these cards are centered. What's this talk about all the, off-centered copies? Well, if you take a look if you do an eBay search for 77 tops, you're going to find a lot of off-centered copies. So these took me a while, a lot of patience to get these centered copies here. Next one is the Andre Dawson rookie card. Again, dropped down to a 5 on this one. Again, I don't know if it's population on the higher grades. I don't know. Also, this Andre Dawson rookie is extremely hard to find, well centered. I don't know whether it's where it was on the sheet or what, but I was very happy to pick up this 5. I was willing to pay, for a PSA 5 price, but managed to find a very well centered copy. So again, I'm buying more of the centering of the card rather than the grade. So I don't mind that I have a lower technical grade copy on that. Next one is the regular Yastrzemski in a PSA 7. Really nice copy there. Then we have the Dennis Eckersley rookie. Managed to get this one in an 8. Very happy with that. Wait, no, that's not his rookie card. I don't know what I was thinking. 76 is his rookie card. This is a second-year card. I was going to say, how could I have, or why did I go ahead and buy a PSA 8 of his rookie card? Anyway, so yeah, just had a brain fart there. But this is his second-year card, PSA 8. Really nice example. All right, down to the last 6, we have the Willie McCovey in a PSA 7. Then one of my favorites from the set is the George Brett PSA 7. This one, I paid a little bit, a decent amount for to get a 7. This is probably one of my earlier 77s that I picked up once I started my vintage collection. This one may have been around the $50-some mark, maybe even a little bit higher. This was when I was dead set on, for 1977, I want to get a collector grade. So I was only looking for 7s, and it was all about the grade. And since then, I'm like, hey, I can get some cards cheaper, still look nice, save some money, and not worry about the numerical grade so much. But this was this was early on, so I did pay a lot for that 7. Of course, that was also probably sometime in 2021 as well. And of course, prices were inflated back then. Here's one. This looks like a little bit of an older slab, but it's the Don Sutton PSA 8. Another tough one to find. And then here's one fairly recently picked up. Finally found the Robin Yount. Again, it's, left to right, a little bit off. But again, it's when you get to PSA 7s, even 6s, 5s, you're lucky to get well centering. And typically it's the corners that knock the grade down. So overall, happy to find this Robin Yount because there aren't too many 7s that pop up. And the next one this one may be my favorite 77 Topps card. Showed this off fairly recently as well. The Carlton Fisk. Got that in a PSA 7. Oh, just love that action shot. And then finally, here was one where, again, I got this one fairly early on, and I thought I settled. I was a little disappointed in myself, I guess, that I didn't get it in a PSA 7. But now I'm just as happy getting this in a PSA 6 and have no problem with it whatsoever. It's the Nolan Ryan. Obviously, with Nolan Ryan cards, once you get to that collector grade or investor grade, whatever you want to call it, above the, in this case, when you get to an 8 or so, you're you're talking triple digits. In fact, this 6, I don't know, I haven't looked up the price on this. It really doesn't matter what the card's worth now. It's in my collection. But this, even in a 6, this may be approaching $100 or so. I'm not sure. But, you know, so to go for a 7 just didn't feel like it was worth it to me to get just a higher numerical grade. At the time, I thought I was settling for a 6. Now, I'm very happy with that PSA 6 Nolan Ryan. So there you go. My progress so far on my 1977 Topps Hall of Fame run. So would love to know, of these 77s, which ones are your favorites? Are you working on collecting some of the Hall of Famers from the 77 Topps set, whether it be graded or ungraded copies? And what has your experience been with the centering? If that's a big priority for you, are you having problems finding very well centered cards like I am, or am I just being super picky? So with that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.